With the recent increase in child sexual abuse cases in Pakistan, it's about time that we stop asking that why do these cases happen and start focusing on a different kind of conversation. How do these crimes happen and what could be done to prevent them? I'm pretty sure that unfortunately most of us must have heard of the term pedophile once or twice in our lifetime. Some of us might have also experienced them at some point in our lives. A pedophile is any person who primarily targets children in order to gratify their sexual urges and fantasies. Their age group is mostly 16 years or older. They are sexually developed. That means their nervous system understands what activities they're about to get engaged in. Some of the most common myths about pedophiles and sexual abuse cases are that pedophiles are only men, pedophiles only abuse girls, pedophiles live under the slums, living an isolated life. None of which are correct. Pedophiles, they do not have any gender. They could be men and women. Well, of course, based on the genetic makeup, based on the physical strength, the most common examples of pedophiles we find around us are of men. However, women are no exception to this fact. Women can be equally abusive. They could be both homosexuals and heterosexuals. Another myth that is considerably wrong is that only girls get abused. No. Based on the fact that young boys have more exposure to the outside world, they are on a potential risk of equally getting abused. How on earth do these pedophiles get access, or what motivates them in order to abuse the children around them? So there are two basic things. The kind of mentality that they function on two aspects. One is fear, that if the child gets to reveal the abuse, the pedophile would be either shamed or punished or both. And second is the gain. When a pedophile verbally or physically gets aggressive with the children, what does he feel at that moment? A sense of control, a sense of superiority. And third and most common aspect, at least 92% of the children, they know their abusers through their environment. Before I move forward, I want to clarify something, that it's not about the relationship a child has with the certain adult. It's how the adult responds and misuses the trust and the access the child has given to them. Speaking of the misuse of access and trust with the children, there are basically three kinds of pedophiles that exist in our society. The first one is the seduction or the ritualistic type. These kinds of pedophiles, what they do is they court the children, they're giving them rewards, asking for sexual favors as a sign of affection. They pretend to be very good listeners. They quickly adapt to the interests of the child to stay close to them. They often go for professions or opportunities, volunteering opportunities such as of coaches, teachers, leaders, in order to stay close to their victims. They often have multiple victims at once, and they are often at different stages. If one victim is at the stage of initial courting, the next victim would be at the stage of sexual violation. The next category is the introverted kind of pedophile, because they do not have the guts to go and grab the child in public places or at homes. They make subtle disturbing actions. For instance, if a child is in the washroom, they might peek in, they might want to see the private parts of the child, or they go out in the swimming pool area in public places just to see naked children. Overall, their social skills are not that great to actually approach a child to lower their defenses. The third category is possibly the worst in terms of pedophiles. They are called the sadistic pedophiles. What they basically do, they seek pleasure in the pain of the children. If they abduct a child, they would physically harm them, they would verbally harm them, they would do anything and everything to make them comply. And they won't even care if the child dies in that process. Because of the sexual abuse, the children undergo a variety of symptoms. The most common are sleep disruptions. They are unable to sleep at night because they fear that in bed they would be abused again. Post-traumatic stress disorder. They might get flashbacks of the abuse. They might relive the sexual abuse experience again and again. Poor appetite. They are unable to eat. They are unable to drink things properly. They might feel constipation, or they might vomit things out of stress. Acting out in school, throwing tantrums out of shame and guilt. abusing animals as a way of distracting themselves from their own pain, sexually focused behaviors like flaunting their private parts. Perhaps the most devastating part of child sexual abuse is that the victims are led to believe that they themselves wanted it to happen to them. But the reality is completely different. Why pedophiles approach children to abuse them is because children are vulnerable, their personality is developing, their brains are developing, so they are unable to identify what exactly is happening to them during the abuse. And so during their teenage years, they are said to believe that maybe they were equally at fault for letting it happen. As parents, as caregivers, as elders, our responsibility is that when a child comes to us, God forbid something has happened in school, in academy, in the school bus, within the family, take the children seriously. Do not dismiss their claims. Give them the sense of confidence to say no when the children feel uncomfortable. Because justice or the prevention does not happen when the crime is reported. It happens way before that, when we teach the children that their body is theirs. It's completely okay to say no, and it's completely okay to speak up when you feel uncomfortable.